Dear Dearie, couple things for today. First off, a piece of advice. If one of your bathrooms in your house is, shall we say, non-functional, and you get up in the middle of the night to go take a piss because you have to go wee very badly because you drank a huge pot of ramen broth earlier in the evening, and you go upstairs because the downstairs bathroom is busted. You get upstairs to find that there's somebody in there. Yes, exactly. As you can hear, my housemate still is very sick. So apparently my request yesterday to send good thoughts is not doing well enough. So please redouble your efforts. Send good thoughts so that the poor son of a bitch can get some sleep. Anyway, so you wake up in the middle of the night and there's someone in the restroom. And you think, oh, I don't want to have to pee in the sink again. Not that I ever have. And you think, I know what I'll do. I'll go out in the backyard. No problem. Go in the backyard. It's fine. And you're out in the backyard and you're doing your thing, and you no lights on at all, just whatever reflections are coming off the clouds of the ambient light from San Jose and Sunnyvale and Santa Clara and Mountain View and all the other cities around here. And your eyes are still kind of adjusting. And you're standing there doing your business, and then you realize that your eyes are not focusing quite right. There's something in front of your face, and you crane your head back a bit, and you realize that you were literally that far away from a spider sitting right in the middle of its web, which is right, because you couldn't see it because it's completely black out in the backyard. Well, not completely black, but it's very dark. And yeah, fortunately, I'm not afraid of spiders, so I didn't, scare the piss out of myself. I suppose that would be a faster way to, purge fluids, possibly solids, if I were scared enough, I suppose. But fortunately, no. I just finished up what I was doing and was like, sorry, excuse me, and went back inside. Yeah, a little bit surprising though, because I was like, what is? Oh, it's a spider, little, kind of garden spider, about that big. Wasn't like a black widow or anything, because that I would have, whoa, and stepped back. It would have been a little bit. I am talking to a friend of mine who we're talking about foods that are very bad for us that we crave, and for me, it was the only time I ever really go to Hometown Buffet is when I'm craving that substance that they call chocolate pudding. It really isn't, because I'm still convinced it's a polymer, just like the cheese and the macaroni and cheese. It's just one electron short of being a polymer. It's probably the same substance. They've just, anyway, every now and again I crave that synthetic crappy chocolate flavor for whatever reason. I don't know why, and I feel like I have to have that chocolate pudding. Well, excuse me, chocolate pudding. And that's like the only time I ever go to Hometown Buffet. And he was saying that, he's sure that there are some foods like that for him, but he can't think of what they are. And I said, oh, well, that's probably a good thing. But for now, I have to go and record my daily vlog, to which he says he's making bunny ears and green screening them in. So if you happen to see them, that's where they're from. So spider pee. Be very careful about spider pee. My housemate was watching a cupcake show earlier today. It's a cooking show for cupcakes and thing, I don't know. And like all other reality TV, I'm like, oh, whatever, fuck, it's just so unbelievably formulaic and unnecessarily dramatic, and you can taste the corporate production on it. It's just anyway. So watch it, and it was cutting to commercial, and one of the judges was like, "I don't like your cupcake at all. It is very bad," or whatever it was he said. And they go to commercial, and it's a dog food commercial, and I just about pissed myself, even without spiders. It was struck me as really funny, and I could not fathom why the people who were making this show thought, hey, this would be a good sponsor for. No, it's actually not. Or maybe it is. Maybe that's I use this phrase sparingly, delicious irony of it all. I thought that was rather amusing and wanted to share that with you guys. I heard that the Battlefield 4 release is coming up soonish. And I mean, I used to work at EA, like a month and a half ago, actually. Yeah, about a month and a half ago. And my first thought was, have they checked the servers? Have they tested the servers? Because we don't want to have another SimCity thing. We don't want to have another, whatever the other thing was, where they don't prep the servers. They don't test them thoroughly enough to say, what happens if 1 million people try to log into this thing at the same time? Have we checked that? Oh, that'll never happen. Bullshit. I don't care if it happens or not. Imagine that it will, and check it just to make sure. Because one day, I mean, was it Bill Gates who said that no one who uses a computer will ever need more than 256K of memory? Apparently that idea was shot to hell. I mean, it was just, no. Don't presume anything. Whatever your pre-order numbers are, double them and start there. Imagine that that's going to be the number of people who are trying desperately to log into your service. That's what you shoot for at a minimum. I don't know if they've done it or not. So we've got BF4 release, cupcake show, dog food commercial, spider pee, and bunny ears green screened into the thing. And the last thing that I have listed here is RSI profile bio. Now, the RSI is Robert Space Internet. It's not International Industries. Robert Space Industries. It's Star Citizen. And I was working on my bio for the thing because it said put in a short bio for your thing. I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and write something in. And I was like, well, I'm a voice actor and kind of a comedian and a writer and blah 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 blah. And then I thought, let's get a little bit deeper into what my character is going to be like, because I'm a role player. It's kind of the way I am. Plus this, if I had access to a ship, this is probably what I would do with it. Me, just because of the way that I am. So this is when I wanted to share this with you guys, because I just finished writing it before I started recording, and I thought this kind of wraps it all up for me. What my character is going to be like. While some may keep the throttle pegged off scale high to try to cover as much ground as possible, I relish the idea of methodical, thorough exploration of systems. Each of my communications will contain a systematic log of star system properties ranging from habitability, either naturally or by terraforming, mineral and chemical compound analyses for miners and fuel harvesters, tactical potentials, if applicable, and theoretical first contact situations. Exploration is more than simply being the first to leave an ion trail through an uncharted system for the sake of the bragging rights of being the one who named it. It is being the probing senses of a far-ranging scout who breaks trail for others to follow. We are the ones who bear the blessing of seeing the universe in the raw, the as-yet untrampled field of snow in its pristine state. We are explorers. That's my kind of thing. That's the kind of game that I love to play. And the idea of what Star Citizen is supposed to bring to the table is very, very intriguing to me. The idea that I can just head off in a given direction and like I said about Eve, see the unseen, touch the untouched, to go out there and, plop down, I mean, not literally, in a system and just fire up every scanner I've got, do surveys of different planets and say, these are the mineral compositions, these are the valuable minerals that we may want to mine. There are also these trace elements which look like they could have scientific potential, but, compile this huge, they just, an explorer and a surveyor, and toss all that information back to the scientists who can come out and set up, mining facilities and whatnot else, and settlers who actually want to come in and either start terraforming a planet, or on habitable planets start setting up outposts and cities and stuff, and spaceports, and try to expand and grow the empire. I mean, I really love the idea of going out and being that first. I know, I mean, I don't want to just burn through and say, haha, I got here first, we're going to call this system potato face, and take off. This is potato face, potato face 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2 are uninhabitable, so bye, and take off. And that gives you nothing of any real import of the system. I want to, okay. Calm. I just stay calm. I also love crafting, so, I mean, I don't think I'd be doing a lot of crafting in Star Citizen. I can't imagine that I would set my freelancer down somewhere and, take out like a little harvesting drones from Dead Space 3 and just set them down, and they go out and they just start harvesting up, ores and things, and come back, and then they build through nanites. They build a small factory that enables it to make bigger pieces that are used to put together and make big. I used to wonder why they can't do that. Why they can't do that in the reverse. Why you can't take like automotive assembly line robot arms and give them all the materials necessary to replicate themselves at 1/2 size. Give them their own schematics and tell them to scale it down 50% and replicate yourself. And then the new smaller arms, which there would probably be more than like 2 or however many, they cannibalize the original arms and whatever new things, and then they make 50% smaller, versions of themselves, and you just keep. And I used to think, why can't we do that? And well, of course, fluid dynamics and things like that eventually break down when you when you get down to a point. Things like oil and water and alcohol there's a surface tension to them, and they don't work quite right. There's a tensile strength to certain materials that once you get small enough, it doesn't work. It's like trying to, to loosen a screw with a piece of aluminum foil. It doesn't really work. Oh well, it would be cool, but no. But you do the reverse. You take a bunch of nanites and you give them just huge blocks of steel and say, build me one of these. You give them steel and copper and gold and whatever else you need to have them build some big factory to make spaceship parts or whatever, mining drones and things like that. I don't know. It would just be cool. Right. So that's explorers. That's what we are. Explorers. I had something in there about planting the seeds to not literally, I mean, it's not like some kind of astral Johnny Appleseed, though that could be kind of cool. And the potential start to terraforming. Just walk around with little things of cold cultured yeast and just fire them down on Mars and say, here, eat all the carbon dioxide. And even though that's not really what yeasts do, so shut up. Just don't. Not sure what expression that was, but there you go. There it is. It's probably something horrifically insulting in an alien tongue or lip. Anyway, 14 and a half minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to get back to figuring out what I'm going to do. I've got some new ideas for narrations and stuff, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do them, so I'm not going to jinx it by talking about them, but it would be really, really awesome if it were possible. Anyway, So, yeah, 15 minutes. I will let you guys go, and I will talk to you probably tomorrow. Good? Good. Be careless.